Also, I did some photo taking, and yes, the wheel alignment is out. Do I really have to go back and fix that? That is so stupid. So, yesterday I made the V10 truck, and today we're going to transplant that engine into a vehicle. So we're going to go along and select this body, which I know I've done one with the BMW kind of knockoff thing, but now we're going to use the sedan version because that was a convertible, and steel monocoque. Hold on, it is American. Do I still go with a ladder? I'm so tempted. We are going to go with 2015. This one is going to be just an absolute beast of a family car. I'm hoping to get somewhere near, like, say, 11 seconds quarter mile, hopefully. Then front longitudinal, double wishbone, and double wishbone. Then let's move over an existing engine. Where are you? Here we go. Viper engine Gen 1 used. Now I know that Gen 1 is a 90s engine and I'm making a 2015 car, but come on, whatever. It's fine. Just let it go. All right. Coupe, no. We do want a family car. So 4 doors, yes. Oh, but then there's this, which is exactly the same except it's a hatchback. I do like that one a little bit more, but this one is more American. Now, how do we make this American? We extend the back out more than what it should, and then slope the rear end down a lot. And then slope it in a bit. There you go. That's an American car design. Then for the front end, you want it also extended out, and once again, sloped and backwards for the front. There. Much more American now. Current engine does not fit. God damn it. Whoops, that was my bad. Longitudinal, please. There we go. Much better. Oh, yikes. The engine bay is quite full. I think that's less of a concern these days. Now, I really want to annoy all Americans right now. Oh, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to go rear-wheel drive. Okay, and then, you know what? For a family car, you might get something a little bit more like this, but we're still going to go advanced automatic. The sports car will have a more fancy transmission. And this one is going to have more gears in it, considering it is a family car and not a truck. We're going to maybe go an 8-speed, up this top speed quite a lot. Then do we go for the open wheel peel? I think yes, you do have to keep the price down somewhere along the line for American cars, so that's probably what we'll do. We'll go with the sports compound, and then widen out those tires, maybe not so big on the front. Can we flare out these wheel arches a little bit? Yes, we can. Good, that looks good. I mean, not actually. That actually still looks really bad, like right around here. Ugh. Oh yes, the most important slider of all. Oh yeah. Then do we maintain steel? No, okay, so this is the V10 version. The V10 version will come with alloy wheels. Don't at me, bro. So in the front, we'll have some vented, probably a 2-piston because it's quite heavy. Then a solid disc in the rear, fully clad. No brake airflow, premium interior, standard infotainment, hydraulic, ABS and traction control. Yes, this one will actually come with traction control. Standard 10 safety, I mean, that's a bit high for an American car, but that does make sense that they would have that. Now, this is where we'll get a little bit more trickety. Do we get active sport? Probably not. Will we get air? You know, you might end up with something like hydropneumatic or air. That one's very unsporty, so we might go with air. Is comfort? Okay, comfort is actually better in the hydropneumatic. So we are going to go hydropneumatic. Twin tube apparently is our option here. And then a passive sway bar. Now, what name do we give this? The Famicar. There we go. That makes sense. Like the Famicom, which is a well-known American institution. A decent price, $32,000, and apparently this is 2012 US money, and that is kind of what you would hope for this sort of car. You probably could go a little bit more expensive, but we've done a very good job to keep this price down. The service cost, on the other hand, oh boy, that is very big, but that's probably because of that packed engine bay. Let's have a look with the hood off. What is it? Oh, that's the body off. Hood off. I mean, in real life, yes, these would be tighter in around where the suspension mountings are and whatnot, but still, it's pretty good. I mean, what happens if we go over here and switches over to McPherson's strut in the front, which is a much more compact? The engine bay is still quite full, but is that expense still really high? It has brought it down a little bit, but not nearly enough. It is quite a few more months, so maybe we will stay with McPherson struts on the, which only brings it down $800. So, sure, okay, yeah, we will keep it down in our price because you want to get this car with this amount of power out to as many people as possible. They just want it. So, our top speed is considerably higher this time round. It reckons 323.7. It reckons we'll do over 200 miles an hour? Oh, well, that's going to go away because we're about to actually go ahead and put some aero on this thing, and then we'll do some more tweaking and back to the other stuff. I see no issue here. Do you? Do we stick on the big boy? I think kinda yes we do, but we keep it very subtle where most people won't see it. I type in 2015 muscle sedan and it shows the last generation of Holden to have ever been made. Brings a little bit of a tear to the eye and a little bit of anger to the heart of GM shutting down Australia's well-known, unique brand. Well, I say unique, but really it is just a rebodied, upgraded, better suspension version of an American muscle car, because it is like running the heart of your GM cars. It just runs LS engines. And then it shows the Ford Falcon, which shut down in exactly the same year. I don't actually like this body. I think it looks a little bit weird. But yeah, anyway, you get the idea. The Charger was the sort of car I was meaning to look at. I don't see a lot of downforce stuff here, maybe just a little bit of a splitter, and then this thing here to help reduce the high air pressure that will build up at the front of the front tires. So let's run a big-ass grill first, then bring in a lip of some kind. Let's go over to suspension. We're going to quickly select Sport here, which is still quite wishy-washy, but at least not terrible. Let's drop the height of the car down a little bit. I am realizing, though, that these wheels are a little bit small, so we'll raise up the size a little bit. What do aerodynamics look like? Oh, dear. That is not a lot of downforce at all, is it? Okay, there, generating like a couple hundred kilos of downforce seems fine to me. The weight distribution is 53 to the front, so fairly even. We should have this. Just a little bit more to the front. Now, our drivetrain has brought our speed down. It is going to be considerably slower now, 297, which is 184 miles an hour, which is a little bit more, like, still, that is incredibly high, but yeah, not 200 miles an hour from an American family saloon. Maybe we'll put a bit of a boot spoiler? Yeah, this one does actually have a little mini spoiler on it. Unfortunately, this one doesn't really morph with the body, which is disappointing, but at least it gets the sort of idea that it had. And let's make sure it's not generating too much downforce. Both generating at about, so when we go for the fast corner, we'll be generating probably only about like 50 to 100 kilograms. Our top speed went up. 299.7, 186 miles an hour. I mean, I don't think it'll reach that, but sure, why not? Our wheel spin is actually really incredibly low. I thought it would have been much higher, but I suppose this is what we get, and we're gonna offset this a little bit now, get them to fill out those wheel guards nice. Do these fill out their guards? Yes, they do. So, I suppose I never noticed. The rear wheel doesn't look like it actually fits the rear fender. It looks too small. Weird. So when it comes to styling the front, yeah, we are going to follow the Dodge SRT, or whatever it is, a Hellcat? Yeah, I think it's the Hellcat. We're going to follow this one a little bit more than the other cars, so first of all, we might actually change up this grille to be a little bit more. So you can kind of follow the lines here. It looks like things have stretched out around here. And then here it's at the top, it's kind of held taut. And then it starts to stretch out as it goes down more to the sides. You can see this is sloped. It goes for this kind of stretched out around this central point here. Let's see if we can't replicate that. Wait, does the Dodge Charger not have a front number plate? That is peculiar. I did not expect that one. I'm gonna put one on anyway, because it kind of feels weird to not have one. There you go. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I don't like it. Now time to give this car some paint. What do we go with? What was the other one? It was a beach blue, so I don't know if we're gonna go for exactly the same one. because that doesn't quite fit. And I think I also did the BMW looking one in this color as well, so maybe we won't go with that. There is a lot of red, a lot of white, a lot of gray, not a huge amount of variety. I do like this dark blue, which the Holden Commodore is in. I know it's called the Chevrolet SS, but that's the Holden SS. Thank you very much. It looks good in metallic, if only it translated to BeamNG. Great, they still haven't gotten rid of this. Can I select green to get rid of that? No, that, no. Okay, well, I can't get rid of that still. That is still a thing in the middle of the screen. I hope that it keeps this smoky, metallic golden color for when it goes over to BeamNG, though I'm not holding my hopes. I have put a fair chunk of time into this one. I am quite actually happy with how this turned out, considering the body is kind of notoriously hard to work with. I just noticed that the wheel is inset backwards for the first time in this entire thing. I really kind of wish that that wasn't a thing. We went with a little bit of that stretchy across the front. I don't quite know how that's turned out, but I think it turns out pretty good. I like the bonnet. I like the choice of wheels, the steely wheels. I'm going to change that over in the settings. I do like that a lot. I am also quite happy with the interior. The interior's come out pretty good. I tried a few different things there, as you may have noticed. I put normal seats inside of a bench seat in the rear to give it that look of like two comfortable seats in the rear and then the basic seat in the middle, which is like very common and I really do like. You kind of got this hidden in here. You got the nice square exhausts. It's just all come together. I really like the smoky look. It's just at the end there, I was like, I don't like the color. We're going to change it up. And I tried this one out and I accidentally hit full metallic and no shine and then went, wait, I like this. So we kind of went with this. Let's hope to God, I have to change the mirrors though, that this is exactly what we want when we get it into actually BeamNG. Damn it, it hasn't come through. Also, I did some photo taking, and yes, the wheel alignment is out. Do I really have to go back and fix that? That is so stupid. All right, we're keeping that. That is staying exactly like that is. Yep, that's a new thing. Wow, this is like for having a huge amount of power in a vehicle that couldn't handle it yesterday. Today, it's handling it so much better. I am actually taken aback. I thought this would be a complete nightmare, considering that I didn't even go particularly great suspension. I went double wishbone, which is fine, and then yeah, anyway, a McPherson strut on the front. It's very subdued. You'd think that this was a little bit more wild, but no, it's pretty good for a car like this. Oh, you know what it is? The other one, I didn't have traction control turned on. So let's fix that. Also, you can see in the back there, I've got those two little bumps on the rear dash area. Those are meant to be speakers. What do you think? Have I done a good job kind of replicating what you might see in the inside of a car? So far, I'm quite happy with. Oh, okay, lost it a little bit there. Okay, so without the traction control on, this thing is a little bit scary. Though, you know what? Still actually quite stable. It's got just a sport preset, doesn't have race, so it still does wallow a bit, as you can see. It could probably be a little bit more comfortable, but I think as it sits, it's pretty darn good. I brought it out here to give the thing a bit of a scare, so a lot of people that have these sorts of cars will live in the more upmarket kind of areas, and those sort of upmarket areas are not close to city centers a lot of the time, in more the suburban kind of areas, and sometimes you have to go through your more mountainous kind of terrain to, not mountain, hilly terrain, because you want to live in a place where it's nice and quiet and all that kind of stuff, and then you bring in your noisy car and all the neighbors go, oh, really? So, yeah, I mean, I just remembered also that this version of the engine exactly has a, what would you call it, no mufflers. That's what you call it. This thing is incredibly loud. But I took it out here to show you guys like, oh, it's dangerous to speed, blah, 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 all that kind of BS. But As a matter of fact, I was just about to say that this car is actually quite safe. But it still is actually quite safe. Like, look at that. The car is maintaining itself to be mostly intact. Like, it's a write-off. It is a write-off. That was just a death blow for the car. But it is maintaining a fairly good cockpit. People wouldn't have potentially died in that. Potentially wouldn't have died. Yeah, I was changing what I was saying as I was saying it. Like, even if the cockpit isn't destroyed, like, that's still a lot of G-forces. I was going well over 200 kilometers an hour, I think. Jesus. So, the Meuler brand is basically two lines of cars. There's this line of cars with a truck that are top speed cars, the sort of ones that are blisteringly quick for the higher up market. The other ones which I'll be releasing in the future will be more of a compact city car, not really American style, but the sort of thing that will occasionally catch on in America, but do really well in the rest of the world. So the Meuler brand will be going internationally. But for now, we're going to see what this V10, I mean, I want to call it a super muscle, but really it is just a muscle because it is just a big lumping engine in the front. So let's see what this thing will do at top speed. Now, do not look at the kilometers an hour here. Look at the kilometers an hour down here, because that is the airspeed of the car, which is a lot more accurate. When you come to Bonneville, they don't look at your speedo, they don't look at your GPS, they actually measure you over a distance over time to gauge basically what would be an average airspeed over a short amount of distance. But because we don't have any of those sorts of timing traps and stuff like that, we're just going to see what this thing can do in just its airspeed. So far, it's done pretty well. It's got up to 340. What did they say it was going to get up to? Sorry, 240. They said it was going to get up to 340. That wheel. That is turning into some sort of like one of those eye tricks where you have to go cross-eyed, hop on one leg, kill a chicken, stuff like that. Like, that's what that's starting to look at. And as I thought this thing was going to like stop at about 230, it's still going at 262, and it's still going. This thing like is really pushing that higher end, and also the downforce that this wing is generating here is really sucking down that quite a lot. I wonder if I was to anchor it at about here a little bit more, maybe it wouldn't do that. I wonder if that's causing drag. That is possible to be causing drag. Oops, I was moving the car instead of the camera. But currently, maybe that's a thing I'll do in my own time. 270. What happens if I turn cruise control, traction control off? 268, 269. Okay, so it is a little bit faster. I would say that this thing probably tops out at 270 kilometers an hour. I doubt, no matter what you do, that this thing is going to go much faster than this. If it does actually go faster than this, it will be a goddamn miracle. Bro, I think your tire's a bit loose there. You may want to tighten up your lug nuts just a little bit. Woo! Well, I suppose it's time to see what this thing will do around a racetrack. I mean, not in this state, obviously. What I meant by that was... So here we are, about to do a lap around the automation test track and see what this absolute monstrosity of a car could do. So this thing is not good on fuel. It currently takes a behemoth amount of fuel. I think the air-fuel ratio was 13.3 or something, which is what I needed to do to get the power band to come down quite a lot. I reckon if I was to look at a more modern version of the Dodge Viper's V10 engine, it would probably have a much later power band, which would mean that I could have the cam profile a bit higher and have a little less fuel usage. But as it sits, like, I'm not going to complain about 400 horsepower. If I use a little bit of extra fuel, I would just say that that's the extra cost that comes with getting such an incredibly powerful car. Like, I know you guys are like, oh, but the Corvette comes with 6 million horsepower, and the new LaFerraris and stuff like that have a heap load, and the new electric Remington, whatever they were, electric cars have 2,000 horsepower spread amongst its wheels. I don't care. Compared to me, the most powerful car I've had is the one that I've got now. Wait, hold on, actually. You know what? No, I had the drift car, but I don't actually know how much power that had, so we're just going to go with the XR6 Ford Falcon that I have. and that has 187 kilowatts, I think, which is this much horsepower. So yeah, for me, 400 horsepower is quite a lot. And even the Barra is described by most motoring journalists as a very lazy engine. It doesn't like to rev rather quickly. Oh, that pulled up nicely. Wow, quite good. Yeah, so it's not even a particularly fast feeling 180 whatever kilowatts it is. It's either 186 or 189. I can't exactly remember. But yeah, you really do have to have the turbo engine to make that one feel good. As for this car, I am a little surprised. Like, it is incredibly controllable. Very, like, I know I've got the traction control on, but very little wheel spin, not a whole lot of slidey. The brakes are fairly good. It's got just the right amount of understeer for like a comfortable kind of car that you can be like, oh, I've got all this power, but not actually feel terrified when you drive it. I mean, it's quite surprising. Did I even go back and actually fiddle with the brakes? I don't think I did. I think I just left them as is. But, I mean, it's not fast. We did do a 240 lap time. So, it's not ballistic. If I was to go into the racing seat and all that kind of stuff, it'd only come down a couple of seconds. So, I think for now, this is pretty good. Let's see what the second Meuler car actually weighs. Wow, that is really heavy. 2.2 tons? Oh my god! That is a behemoth of a sedan family car. Like a family car you'd expect to be somewhere around 1,400 to the upper end being 1,800. But 2.2 tons! Oh my god! This, like, your parts weighing stuff when you export the car, it's getting a bit ridiculous, don't you think? Jesus! Yep, I didn't actually come back and change the brakes, to the which point they are actually quite underpowered. So we are going to pop them up right and ready for the export. As always, this car will be uploaded directly to my Where's the Jump Button official BeamNG server. So go over there, enjoy the car. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!